Hello, my name is Jessica and this is my Art100A video final. So my thesis for this presentation is how culture and function determines female representation in sculpture. So to start off with the Hope Athena, it was located in the ruins of a palace alongside the Hope Aegea, and it is a Roman replica of a Greek original. The historical context would be that Greek culture is polytheistic, meaning they worshipped multiple gods. They were governed by city-states, with each city-state having its own main or patron god, and for Athena, she was the patron goddess of Athens. As for subject matter, Athena is the goddess of war and wisdom, and the uh, iconographic elements that can help recognize her is the snake-fringed garment and the helmet that she wears, as well as the heavy mantle. For the function, it's not really specified, although it is in a secular space. It's probably to honor the goddess and show piety, and perhaps even to worship, because it is known in Greek culture to worship cult statues. As for visual analysis, she is, with her draperies and the details of her face and the proper proportions all emphasize elements of naturalism. And this makes sense because the Greeks valued proper representation of the human anatomy, and although it's white now, it was probably painted and inlaid with gemstones to really emphasize its importance and grandeur. And it's in comparison between Hatshepsut kneeling and the Hope Athena. Hatshepsut kneeling was a funerary good. It was a place for the ka, or the piece of the soul, to inhabit once the pharaoh was deceased. And it is a representation of a pharaoh, not a god, although the pharaoh does claim to be divine. The pharaoh is kneeling towards a god, and she's represented as a man, unlike Athena, but she's represented as a man because the Egyptians valued upholding traditions, and pharaohs, the image of a pharaoh tends to be male. Hatshepsut was a very important female ruler and a wife and daughter of separate pharaohs and even a regent for a pharaoh, and she ruled for quite a while as well. And it just as the Athena can be recognized by these iconographic elements, such as the mantle and the headdress, the pharaoh can be recognized by the headdress and the fake beard as well. As for Aphrodite of Knidos and the Hope Athena, both of these are Greek sculptures. Both of these are actually Roman copies of Greek originals. This depicts the Aphrodite, the goddess of love, sex, and marriage, and it was known as the first goddess to be represented naked, which is really important because Aphrodite is the goddess of love, sex, and marriage, and this makes more sense than representing Athena as naked, because she represents war and wisdom rather than more erotic categories. And so there's also an emphasis more on humanism here, although they're both very naturalistic. The humanistic elements, such as the fact that she's bathing with a pitcher and a towel, shows that she's very engaging in a human task, and she's can have feelings and the conditions of a human, so she can have sympathy for humans. And this makes sense, especially because of the political uncertainty after the Peloponnesian War and the invasion of Macedonia, whereas this one's still very surreal and serious in her representation. As for the reliquary statue of St. Foy and the Hope Athena, so the reliquary statue of St. Foy is to house relics, or it's body parts of a saint. In this case, there was a young maiden that died for being Christian, and it is decorated with gold and gemstones, which is interesting because the Hope Athena was also decorated with gemstones as well. And pilgrims would pray to the saint to grant their wish, to cure them of their conditions. And with the Hope Athena, they would also worship their statues to cure them of their conditions. In addition, the reliquary statue of St. Foy is a lot more abstract, with a enlarged head and very simplified body parts, whereas again, the Hope Athena was very naturalistic with details and facial expression, and this makes sense because the Christians were not as obsessed with the human anatomy. Yet, as both religious figures, they are both respected and worshipped and honored. This is Jessica. Thank you for listening.